to an invisible agency, let's say.
Yeah, this is a deep topic. I might kind of come at this topic from a different angle, and I'd like to throw out the word symbol. Symbol, sim, Greek for with, bol, Greek for throwing something. We get our word ball from that part of the Greek words that have the bowl in it. So symbol, to throw with, parable, to throw beyond, diabol or diabolic, to throw apart. So the reason I kind of want to start with symbol is that in a way, God's effort to reach humanity, and C.S. Lewis is kind of big on this, has to go through symbol to reach us. And that doesn't mean that we can deconstruct it and then there's nothing there. We come to realize it's the necessary means for one realm that's so incomprehensible and beyond to reach us has to go through metaphor and symbol for us to make sense of it. And so I think even when it comes to the darker powers, all we have is language and symbol in a way to apprehend it. And what I kind of find interesting is that the dark powers want to use symbol in a way that sort of obfuscates what's really there. Mm-hmm. So powers are always based, and I mean, when they have a kind of a bent agenda, they have to have some kind of lie that's inherent to the way they're working in the symbolic world. Because true symbol is integrity between what's on the inside and what's on the outside. It's kind of the way I think about glory. True glory is like pure integrity of what's on the inside and the outside. Kind of like when you get like a piece of amber, and you put it up to the sun, and it's just like this beautiful translucent thing that you look through, and it's solid all the way through. Mm-hmm. Whereas a distorted symbol, and now we get into things like idols and advertising and words and stereotypes and things that kind of like have a certain force socially, they're all predicated on some kind of a lie. They have a duplicitous nature.
Yeah.
And they function precisely because their inside does not have integrity with the outside. The outside has more of like a grandiosity, which we kind of like almost attribute to things by virtue of association, but they're hollowed out. They really don't have integrity of meaning.
Yeah.
One of Elul's favorite verses right out of 2 Corinthians 10 has this phrase of pretentious powers. And by pretentious, it means it has the appearance of being very powerful. This is what I call the outside manifestation of a power that presents well, like a state, like a nation, like a new car or whatever. But on the inside has some contradictions, what you're calling a lie. There's always an Achilles heel, on the inside of these duplicitous symbols, because they have to continually be propped up. Mm-hmm. With falsehoods and narratives and things which again lack the integrity of meaning of the way things truly are in the world.
Where I wonder is that in scripture there's also a whole other strain, which is the tabernacle, the temple, and even Ezekiel's third temple, which is a kind of vision of an eschatological temple.
Yeah.
And the same, and this image of the Son of Man. And so, for example, in Revelation, you have this final image where you have two. So even in the text I was reading, he was alluding to the Lamb and to the idea of the Lamb as this insane image, right? It's like, why the Lamb at the summit of the hierarchy, right? That's the subverted image. But in the vision, it's actually two images, right? It's the Son of Man and the Lamb. So it's the king, judge, ruler and the Lamb joined together. So there are these two strains in Scripture. It can seem contradictory, but they're there, right? The vision of the tabernacle, or God asking Moses to build the tabernacle, is very much using tropes related to Cain. You know, the Bezalel, the way that he's described as an artificer. You know, the only other person called an artificer in Scripture, I think, is Tubal-Cain. And so it's like there's this whole other strain.
Jesus himself is using language to confront the temple institution itself.
Then I also think of the eschatological vision. The image of the heavenly Jerusalem is very powerful because it seems to solve the problem. Because the way that it's presented is that the kings of all nations, you know, offer their crown up into the heavenly city, and all the glory of all the nations are elevated into the heavenly Jerusalem. And so it's not that the nations are destroyed. It's not that the kings don't exist, is that they exist in the proper order. So whatever particular glory a nation has is given up to something higher. And that's its glory, actually, right? It's like, that is what its glory is. Whatever it can offer up and whatever it doesn't hold on to itself, and that is actually a kind of way in which all this participates on this. So there isn't just the negative part. There's also this kind of positive way that that civilization, that art, that culture, that authority, that all these things can participate ultimately in the kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I would affirm that. And there's a affirming incarnational blessing of things that are with integrity, reflect the nature of God and the intended, you know, creation that was set out for us. And at the same time, Jesus is the great disturber of everything in every culture that does not align with all of that.
Yeah, that's kind of the way that I tend to see it.